After school is a time to explore, create, serve. Our staff strive to ignite kids' imaginations, to spark creativity, build relationships.
Through the comprehensive after-school programs team, we service over 40 different after-school programs throughout Harris County across several different school systems, and we provide services to our youth, our communities, our schools, and our families through academic assistance, social enrichment, college career readiness, as well as family engagement programming.
HCDE's Case for Kids is the largest out-of-school time intermediary in Texas and wants to see that every child in Harris County has access to high-quality learning opportunities.
A lot of what we do is to broker services through other folks. We are able to equalize opportunities. We are able to bring opportunities to kids across Harris County, kids that would not otherwise be able to access arts, sports, environmental, service learning opportunities.
American citizens to vote her out and vote whoever else they feel.
One of the most popular after-school programs is debate. Debate has so many lifelong benefits.
The 40s and 50s about civil rights.
CASE enables students from lower income families to participate by taking care of competition fees, transportation, food, and in some instances, clothing.
Coming to Case for Kids, where we get pretty much free entries, we're fed all day. For students that come from underprivileged backgrounds, which would be most of my team, this has been an extremely fun and I think important thing for us to come to once every month.
Our department equalizes opportunities. We leverage dollars, we share resources, and we work to drive change. We work with the nonprofit who's bringing in the expertise, and together we can create a service that is lower cost than if someone was trying to do it alone.
In partnership with the Harris County Education Foundation, Case for Kids supports school day learning through the annual EcoBot Challenge. Over 300 4th through 8th graders prepare throughout the school year to compete with students across the county.
What they did here is really, really amazing.
During the summer, the learning and fun continue due to the County Connection Summer Youth Initiative grant. HCDE funds the 8-week summer initiative for 40 different organizations that provide activities throughout the summer that include camping, cooking, sewing, fine arts, academic enrichment, and mentoring. Case for Kids also provides ongoing professional development, research-based curriculum, supplies, and training for teachers and providers running the out-of-school programs.
I want people to know Case cares. I want our kids in Houston to have that opportunity, and that's what we're doing every day. In our sites, our staff working with kids, our community partners, every day there is a spark being lit with a new kid getting excited about what they do, that they're connecting with a friend, that they're just having fun.
For more information about Case for Kids, go to the website or call 713-696-1331.
We're just kids that made a mistake. I've heard my students say, "We're bad, miss." And I inevitably answer them, "No, you are not."
When I tell people I work at High Point, they're like, "High Point, oh my God, I've heard of that." And you know, how do you work with those kids? And they're kids.
We're human, first of all. We make mistakes. We're not perfect people, but we just don't allow those mistakes to determine how our future will turn out.
High Point is specifically a catalyst for change.
And that catalyst for change is Harris County Department of Education's High Point East, located in Northeast Houston. High Point is a disciplinary alternative education program, or DAEP, for middle and high school students. The school is for the adjudicated student and for those who've been expelled from their home schools.
Our main goal is to serve the child. And so what does that look like here? It looks like us providing academic support. It looks like us tapping into the behavioral supports, the social emotional component.
We try to change mindsets, try to change ways of thinking.
We do a lot of talking, a lot of talking, counseling. We do a lot of restorative work here because we want our kids to understand that, first of all, guns are not the answer. We have found here that having those critical conversations, allowing for kids to have those conversations, they have been very effective.
And with the low student-teacher ratio, teachers really get to know their students.
The relationship piece is so huge for us. We have to build relationships with our kids first. They're not going to do anything if they don't trust you. Part of that work means that, okay, we're going to have to create that trust.
Friend.
You have to know that I'm here for you.
Nothing really catches us off guard because we know our population and we know what we deal with.
I'm continually growing my staff with people who are hard bodies and who understand that this is heavy lifting. You may come to work one day feeling great. Kid walks in your classroom, curse you out like you done stole something. My people, they have to know, okay, this is not even about me. Something's going on with this child right here. And so taking just a few minutes to figure out what that is huge in the life of our kids. Because in that 1 minute, that staff member could have saved a life.
My son tells me I can talk to them.
Can you hear me?
They understand.
I can hear her.
And that's how I know that my son is in great hands.
Just because it's an alternative school doesn't mean it's negative. It's just a turning point for the child.
I feel
no
like
worries at all.
you can be more hands-on, not just academically, but socially and dealing with the mental psyche of that child. And you can save a child.
Academic advising and admissions.
I'm a mechanical engineer. I need to be doing research about my college to get the work.
And as students make social progress, High Point's master teachers guide students meeting goals they once thought were impossible.
So what do you think is going to happen with this?
Our students do actually excel here. We are very happy when we receive their grades at the end of their time and they come back to us. A lot of times kids have really picked their grades up.
After he completes his days, he's going to have all of his credits.
Academic wise, like it's something, it's like how they explain it. It's just like I can really get it.
We're going to go 5 right.
Our class now is like a family. So it's like we help one another, we better one another. It went from a couple people passing, now everybody's passing the classroom because everybody wants everybody to succeed and just be better as a person.
First place goes to High Point.
In the 23-24 school year, High Point's middle school program will be in a new state-of-the-art building.
High Point really calmed my spirits. And they know who my daughter is, they understand her character. It means a lot to me.
If you are looking for a partnership of a program that will work through and through, hand in hand with you, with your students, especially when they're having challenges, that this is the place.
The ultimate goal for me and my staff here at High Point is that when a kid leaves us, they leave us better.
Marcus Buckley.
The Harris County Department of Education is dedicated to improving the lives of Harris County area families through engaging and enriching educational opportunities and cost-effective services for learners of all ages. Beginning with early childhood education's Head Start schools and one of the state's largest adult education programs. HCDE's 4 special campuses serving students with physical, behavioral, and intellectual challenges. After school and summer programs for over 8,000 children. HCDE also provides over half of all school-based therapy services in the county. And to continue supporting HCDE's mission is Choice Partners, a national purchasing cooperative offering quality, legally bid contracts with competitive prices. Choice Partners saves members money And the profits go right back into HCDE's goal of positively transforming lives, such as with 3 newly constructed campuses. Recently opened is the 51,000 square foot adult education building, the 28,000 square foot High Point Middle School, and the 43,000 square foot Academic Behavior School East.
Students here on this campus who have disabilities ranging from autism to emotional disturbance. So the most unique pieces I feel that we have here on our campus is, of course, our sensory lab. PT work with those students to kind of help soothe some of the behaviors. When they would see their teachers and their educational aides in the morning, their faces just light up because they know that they're going to be cared for and taken care of while they're learning here on our campus.
And located in the northeast portion of the county, a newly built High Point Middle School. High Point is a disciplinary alternative education program, or DAEP, for adjudicated students or those expelled from their home schools.
One of the things that was very important to the design team was making sure that we provided open spaces that were large enough to accommodate our students. What it says to our students and to our families is that we believe that our kids deserve the best.
And opening its doors during the summer of 2023 is the new state-of-the-art 4-story adult education building.
One of the great things about this building is that it was truly designed with the needs of adult students in mind. Most of our adult students are either getting their GEDs or basically their high school equivalencies or learning English, but also many of them are attending classes to improve their vocational skills. A new building with modern technology, state-of-the-art facilities, it just creates a different atmosphere, provides them with a sense of hope that they are worth investing in.
Every year, the Harris County Department of Education impacts about 150,000 students and 50,000 educators. The dollars you spend with Choice Partners goes into furthering education. As members of the co-op, you make a profound difference in the lives of generations to come and will shape the future of the community we live in. You have a choice. Choice Partners, the right resources right now. The Harris County Department of Education has 4 special schools, each designed for students with unique needs. HCDE's campuses serve emotionally as well as physically disabled students, many with autism, at both Academic Behavior Schools East and West. And in the Greens Point area, Fortis Academy, where students are recovering from drug and alcohol addictions. And for at-risk youth, High Point Middle and High School.
Here at HCDE, our campuses are extremely unique in regards to the services that we provide to the students of Harris County.
This meeting to order at 1:04 p.m. The Board of Trustees of the Harris County Department of Education is now convened in a regular board meeting on Wednesday, February 26, 2025 in room 401 at 6300 Irvington Boulevard, Houston, Texas at 1:04 p.m. We wish to extend a warm welcome to everyone present at this meeting of the Board of Trustees. As trustees, we are here to set goals, listen to reports from the superintendent, approve budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and set policy for the district. It is not the role of the board to make day-to-day operational decisions. The management and day-to-day operations of the department are the responsibility of the superintendent. We have policies and procedures in place to resolve concerns and issues. This is a public meeting of the Board of Trustees, not a meeting of the public. Prior to this meeting, board members received information related to items on today's agenda. Agenda items will not necessarily be handled in the order listed on the notice. The meeting is open to all who wish to attend and hear the matters discussed. During the course of this meeting, the board may determine that a closed session is necessary. In that event, the board will meet in closed session to consider matters duly posted for this meeting as permitted by section 551.071 to 551.084, inclusive of the Texas Government Code. I respectfully ask that you please refrain from talking while others are speaking and that cell phones are turned off or in silent mode. Thank you for taking time today to join us and for your interest in the Harris County Department of Education. And so we will get started with the invocation with Mark Perez.
Good afternoon. Would you pray with me? Yes. Heavenly Father, this is the day that you have made, and we rejoice and we are glad in it. We thank you that your mercies and grace are renewed to us each day. The fact that we are here is evidence of this. Father, we remember that many among our family, our colleagues, our friends are in need. We recognize that there are many others who are hurting and bewildered as they listen and as they watch what is happening in the world around us. We pray, God, that we may bring all of our cares to you and be anxious for nothing, but instead remember that you are the God who is all wise, all powerful, and always good, and that our hope is in you and not in man. Father, your word tells us to pray for those in leadership. We thank you for the dedicated leaders that we have here at HCDE. We bless and honor them. We pray that you would grant them wisdom to plan and the grace to execute their vision for this organization. Finally, Father, we pray for the most vulnerable in our community, those whom we are called to serve. May their lives be uplifted. May they find hope through the work that we do. May the impact of changed lives motivate each of us as we fulfill our roles. All of this we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you. And then we will now have the Pledge of Allegiance with Thomas Plapp.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, under God, one and indivisible.
We don't have anybody for open forum, correct? Okay, we do not have anyone for open forum, so we'll move on to reports and presentations, and we will start with recognition of Black History Month.
Good afternoon, President Hinojosa, members of the board, Mr. Colbert. Periodically throughout the year, we honor the contributions of various cultures in our community. And in February, we are proud to celebrate Black History Month. So we have a short video commemorating the month and the celebration.
Celebrating and honoring the contributions of African Americans and the culture is paramount to our nation. Here at HCDE, we are dedicated to celebrating Black excellence and empowering diverse leaders through education and support to our community. Our commitment to diversity ensures that every student, educator, and leader has the chance to thrive and make an impact. HCDE is proud to celebrate Black History Month.
All right, and so we'll move on to Employee of the Month.
President Hinojosa, Board of Trustees, Mr. Colbert. Today we honor Ms. Rachel Moser, HCDE's technology trainer, as our February 2025 Employee of the Month. Rachel has a thirst for learning, with technology actually being her third career. She started in the classroom as a culinary teacher and moved into technology support during COVID. She joined HCDE a few years ago and has quickly transformed the culture of technology support throughout the organization. Rachel was eager to take on the challenge of building a technical and end-user training curriculum from scratch, using her prior teaching experience as the foundation for the difficult but enriching task of empowering others with knowledge, Tanika Henderson, IT project manager, wrote in her nomination. She built our entire training program by herself and was able to be successful from day one. Rachel defines the term go-getter. She never sees a problem she cannot solve, only a challenge that requires thought and effort to overcome. Through her daily work, she not only supports basic level IT training, but ensures implementation plans for technology projects have the appropriate staff support built in so employees can understand and use new systems efficiently. Rachel's ability to teach and imbue others with knowledge is a skill and an attribute that many would aspire to learn, but seems to come natural to her, the nomination reads. Rachel is the epitome of professionalism, achieving everything she gets out and is tasked with doing, thus elevating the IT's division's image and standing with the rest of the HCDE community. Our comms team has prepared a short video highlighting Rachel's accomplishments and customer-centric mindset.
It's lunchtime on a Tuesday.
Thank you for joining me for today's Technology Lunch and Learn training.
HCDE's technology trainer, Rachel Moser, is teaching staff all about the complexities of Microsoft Excel.
Auto-size your rows or columns.
I get to help people every day with their technology applications. Some of that is Microsoft related. Some of that is apps that we built in-house through our IT services division to make sure our staff have, the tools and the resources they need to be successful in their role.
You'll go down to Save As.
My favorite thing about Rachel is the way that she's able to communicate complex technical processes and tools to the layperson. She's able to learn about it, doesn't matter how complex it is, and distill it down into a format that people can understand it. And that's a skill that not many people have.
Rachel grew up in Katy and graduated from Taylor High School. It was during the summer before her senior year, she persuaded her parents to send her to a weight loss camp. And there she met a counselor who influenced her to consider teaching.
So I wanted to be able to teach students or kids like myself at that time how to cook and how to eat healthier. And that summer changed my life.
Rachel graduated from Texas State University with a bachelor's in family consumer sciences and a teaching certificate.
I'm certified to teach nutrition, culinary arts, fashion merchandising, interior design, child development, and education and prep classes for students who want to become teachers.
But before entering the classroom, she got her master's in educational technology. And during COVID's turmoil, she got creative and began using Schoology with her students and helped her fellow teachers do the same.
Even though I was focusing on nutrition and culinary, technology has always been in the back of my mind.
And in early 2023, while planning her wedding, she learned about an opening in HCDE's IT department. And determined to be on time for her interview, she arrived just a bit early.
It's embarrassing to say this, but I showed up to my interview a week early for this job. And I was like, I called my friend. I was like, I'm definitely not getting it. I showed up a week early.
That is the case that we want to have it on the calendar. She started the day after she came back from her honeymoon, and she literally hit the ground running. She has taken the IT training to a level, but I don't even know that we expected it to grow in the way in which she has really pushed it.
We're going to look at how we can start analyzing our data.
So last year, one of the biggest projects that I was most excited about, the implementation of PowerSchool Schoology. I hadn't really known about professional learning, but now that's kind of like my baby.
And Rachel values HCDE's mission of giving Harris County students and families second chances.
One of the amazing things about Harris County Department of Ed is that they actually have a special school for students dealing with addiction. And I think if my younger sister would have known about that program or would have been a part of it, she may have still been with us today. Because I feel like sometimes those students feel like nobody cares. And I think that only furthers their addiction. And so I truly love the fact that HCDE is there for all students. Just in the last 2 years, I've learned so much about myself and so much about HCDE. I'm just so grateful, so thankful for the opportunity.
She does above and beyond, and I can't imagine that there's anyone in HCDE that has not been impacted, that has not had the opportunity to experience what she does as far as training goes. Literally creating a lot of this out of thin air. And she has just been a rock star at it. Like, I couldn't ask for a better person to be on my team.
I'm pleased to introduce to you Ms. Rachel Moser, HCDE's February 2025 Employee of the Month. As we prepare for the picture, I want to acknowledge her family that's here, her husband, her mom, and her in-laws that are here with her, supporting her today.
I had to request tissues for that one. If anyone else needs some, y'all let me know. Goodness.
All right, so we will move on to Superintendent Monthly Report.
Thank you, Madam President. Just want to say to Rachel, if we ever have a need for some vacancies being filled, I didn't know we had someone with like 9 different certifications, so appreciate you and we're proud of you.
Could I add really quickly? It's amazing to see these stories week by week. Your background knowledge, everything that you're bringing to this role is just beautiful to see. I'm so appreciative of you being here and bringing all of that heart to what you're doing. And I have to say, one of my favorite things is watching your family adore you in this moment. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for all you're doing.
Okay, I have 4 things to update the board with. The first is this Friday, we will have HCDE's 2025 Chili Cook-Off. And so this is where we get to identify the grand poobah of chili for Harris County. Now, we'll be calling on some of our board members to help us. I think Mr. McGee, Dr. McGee has helped us in the past. We will have 3 different categories. Who has the best chili with Harris County Department of Ed, a category I created because I actually don't like chili. Who has the best cornbread with Harris County Department of Ed, and then we've added a 3rd category this year. Look at Cantu. He's sitting up there shaking. He's like, yeah, what's the 3rd category? Who has the best dessert? Oh, and then we also who has the best station, that does the best decorations. That will start Friday at 11:30. It's going to be in the 500s where we traditionally have it. The theme is Go Texans, I think. So you get to see me squeeze my big feet into some cowboy boots, and I've got my custom cowboy belt buckle and hat, and so we'll be all cowboyed up. So hopefully y'all be able to come by with that. Next week, March 6th. Case for Kids has its City Connections grantee recognition event. That will be at on the 500s. What time does that start? Do we know offhand? Lisa? 10 o'clock. Traditionally, we've done this down in City Hall, but it'll be at this location next week. So that's on the 6th. Spring break for us will start on the 10th, and so it'll be the week of the 10th. So we will be out of the buildings from March 10th through the 14th. And the final thing is on March 27th, we have our Scholastics Art and Writing Award Ceremony. And y'all may or may not know this, we do have an actual award that the board members have basically co-signed, so it's in y'all's honor. You may want to show up for that because you'll have an opportunity to go on stage and help present that award. That's all I have. Oh, hold on, what is it? Oh. So our president just sat here and wrote a note, not knowing that I don't have my glasses on, so I can barely read what she wrote, but I saw a big V for vegan at the chili cook-off. And so there might be, I don't know, I mean, there might be some vegan chili there. I don't know. We'll have to see. I just know that the cornbread, they get very creative, and you don't know what's inside some of that cornbread. Thank you. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. And we will move on to the annual division update, construction. Yay.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the board, Mr. Colbert. All right, here we go. And so construction services consists of 3 people: Thomas Platt, Albert Valadez, and myself, Joe Carrion. But I do want to say that it's not just limited to us 3. We have a culmination of all divisions that support us, from IT to communications and REI, grants. We all work together. Everybody has a construction team. So when a construction project comes down the pipeline, they assign their members to the team, and we all work together for these projects. And construction division provides services and support for all our HCDE buildings and collaborates with our fellow coworkers to understand and fulfill the needs of each individual division. And our fixed asset clerk does our capital inventory every year. Our environmental specialist, who just recently retired, he's now working with us part-time, but he does our safety inspections and our playground inspections. And myself, I serve as the liaison for the architects and engineers, and I also assist with land acquisition appraisals and environmental reports. And so some of our current projects consist of the admin building, this building. We have our ongoing projects, which are LaPorte Head Start Playground and our Tidwell Head Start Playground. And some of our completed projects for this fiscal year are the Barrett Station Playground and the Coolwood Head Start project. And so here's just some pictures of some renders of the restroom here on the first floor. You know, on par with the 5-star hotel restroom, yeah? That's the look we're going for. Our lobby is just the same. You know, this is the first impression that the public gets when they enter our building, and we want to make sure we make an impact. And these are some some pictures of the finished product over at the Coolwood Head Start. Great design, great furniture selections that we had. A state-of-the-art commercial kitchen. We've got a little garden, a great playground. And I wanted to recap some of the trends that we talked about last year. And so one of them was that the first time in over 2 decades, the US bought more goods from Mexico than they did from China. That's still true. And then US still was gonna sell itself to a Japanese company. That's been on hold. All of these things impact construction prices, keep in mind. US is still involved in multiple proxy wars. The AI-related electricity consumption is still on track to increase by 85%. The EV charging stations will also lead to more electricity consumption. It's still true, but that grant is now on hold. And the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act is also on hold. So these are just some of the variables that we look at when we're trying to forecast what to expect the next year. And so a local architect brings together all this information, and I was able to put together this chart to kind of show over the last couple of years, where if you look at the light green bars, where that's going to be your office building and parking structure prices. And you can see how it's increased from 2020 to 2023, but now it's starting to kind of level out. So what we're seeing is on average, the cost trends for 2024 are about, on average, 9% increase, which is still high. You know, the inflation goal is right around 2%. So some of these other trends consist of the prices of steel and lumber and roof materials have stabilized. Those were, sky high right after COVID. The prices for glazing and curtain walls, which is structural glass walls, has risen. The lead times for HVAC components and electrical components still facing delays on those components. And the price for corporate interiors has also increased due to the adaptive reuse and upgrades to existing office spaces. And so some of the factors that could affect construction inflation prices in 2025 are going to be, if the interest rates decline, it could lead to more construction projects. Supply chain issues that continue to disrupt the industry will increase prices and cause production delays. There may be a shortage of skilled workers to meet production demands, and the threat of tariffs from imports from Canada, Mexico, and China could ignite inflation. So what do? We do the same thing we've always done. We stay resilient. And as inflation prices stabilize and the global economy steadily improves, there's still a great deal of uncertainty. So the biggest challenge is to predict what happens next. We don't have that crystal ball. So we have to build resilience. And that is the willingness to think differently, to make time to work together to analyze and account for risks and potential consequences for every project, and to become more agile and adaptive to new opportunities. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
I'd just like to say that our construction division has been very responsive to not only the dynamics of what we do at HCDE, but the kind of individuals, the students that we have. It's really important for an organization to have internal people who can be a project manager, who get to know the students that are on our campuses. And so they take it very personal when they build a building like Coolwood. And they happen to be the super mentor of Coolwood.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, I mean, the person who's out there reading to the kids was also the person who built the building, and so that's powerful. And so I think the world of what your division has done and how it's responded. I think Coolwood is a great example. I have learned that Houston is not an easy place to build buildings in. Permitting is a jigsaw puzzle, and trying to get things done. And we've seen this time and time again, from the adult ed building to the Coolwoods and to the ABS East. And it takes Joe to be able to navigate the politics. That's a whole different brand of politics. And getting the fire inspector to come out and inspect the building so you can start working on it or get people in it. So kudos to you, sir, and your division. And I appreciate you, and I hope to get you some more work to do.
Yes, sir. Likewise. Thank you.
And our next annual division update is from Adult Ed.
Good afternoon, Madam President, board members, Mr. Colbert. It is my pleasure to do the update on the Adult Education Division's performance for the past year. But first, I'd like the members of the Adult Education Division that are here to stand up and be recognized. On behalf of the 181 members of the adult education family. Not all of them could be here this afternoon, but I'm sure they would like to. This is a very special year for Adult Ed. This is our first year of our direct grant with the Texas Workforce Commission, and we're very excited to be able to have the support of the Texas Workforce Commission in serving the adults of Harris County and Liberty County. And I wanted to spend a little time looking at our team and what they do, but also to emphasize the fact that this year we were able to add 8 key new members to our team that are providing the quality of the services and are improving the quality of the services and improving the quality of what we do. And we're very excited to have them on board and contributing to the Adult Education Division. So our management team, we've had our managers here for a long time. Most of them have been here for a long time, but we have been able to add a performance coordinator this year and a quality assurance coordinator, as well as a professional development and digital literacy coordinator. So these individuals are already making an impact on the quality of the service that we have and in our ability to comply with all the rules and regulations that are required of this grant. But we have a large academic and support team, and we've also been able to add some new positions that are supporting or helping with the quality of our program. For the first time, we have 2 curriculum coordinators. We've never had a curriculum coordinator in the past, and it's already having a huge impact on the quality of what we offer to our students. If you want to take a look at some of the things that they've been doing, go to the Adult Ed portal in the HCDE portal and look at what Adult Ed is doing there in terms of curriculum development, in terms of curriculum support. Great stuff. We also were able to add 3 new career navigators who are basically working individually with students to help them with resolve issues that they might have in terms of their own personal lives, but more importantly, in helping them transition to jobs, to post-secondary education, and to taking the next step forward. This is a new addition for our grant and for our program, so we're very excited to have them. But ultimately, the heart and soul of our division are its teachers. And we have 114 part-time teachers, 14 program assistants, and 16 aides that are basically the ones who are meeting daily with our students and having teaching the classes and supporting the students. And they are the heart and soul of our program. Let's look at our enrollment trends. Last year, we served almost 6,000 students, 5,702, which was a significant improvement, an increase of about 28% from the previous year. So we saw an important increase in our enrollment. And this year, we're currently 6 months into our program, and we have already served about 5,000 students. We are at 90% of our target for enrollment with our contract with the Texas Workforce Commission. So we expect to be able to serve almost 7,000 students by the end of the year. So we've seen a significant increase in our enrollment trends, and we hope to be able to serve more people next year as well. This is what we do. As you can see from the numbers, we offer ESL classes, English as a second language, for 3,900 students last year. English for professionals, classes that are basically specific to individuals who have a degree from another country. Work-based classes, basically, that are targeted to employers. GD prep for about 1,100 students, and vocational classes for about 603 students last year.
You want to put in presentation mode so that they can see the numbers.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Now, we offer our classes in a variety of modes, face-to-face and virtually. In the past, coming out of the pandemic, we were offering most of our classes online, virtually. Last year, we were able to revert that trend, and 66% of our classes were face-to-face, and we moved away from essentially being an online program to being a more balanced program that offers both face-to-face and virtual classes. We believe that distance learning and self-directed learning are an important component of adult education. And last year, 67% of our students engaged in a distance learning program on their own. So whether they were in a face-to-face class or in an online class, they still did extra work on their own through distance learning. Our goal this year is to reach 75% of our students through distance learning. We don't do it alone. We have a lot of partners in the community that help us host our classes in different school district areas, including Spring Branch, Pasadena, Liberty ISD, Klein ISD, Katy, Houston ISD, and Goose Creek, Cypress Fairbanks, Cleveland ISD, and Alief ISD. Those are the programs we served, the partners we had last year. This year, we're adding Goodwill, Salvation Army, City of Houston, Milk and Honey Church, First Baptist Church, Community Family Centers, and AMA. So our partnerships keep growing, our ability to reach the community keeps growing, and we do it through partnerships. Ultimately, it's all about student performance and student gains. The state requires that our students demonstrate progress towards a goal. That's what we call a measurable skill gain. They can reach a measurable skill gain by passing a test, a state assessment test, by getting a GED, by getting a certification. And last year, we had 2,308 students, or 46.7% of our students, who achieved some kind of gain, some kind of measurable skill gain through their education with Harris County Department of Education. That exceeded the state target. We beat it by almost 5%. And we will continue to improve that percentage. And let's look at some of the specific components of student performance. One of the things that we're most proud about is our vocational program. And you can see there some of the vocational programs that we offered last year: certified nurse assistant, phlebotomy, EKG, medical billing coding, help desk, business office technology, and pipe fitting and construction. So we have a wide variety of vocational programs. And last year, 23-24, 478 of those students achieved some kind of workforce skills gain or certification. So almost 80% attained some kind of gain towards their certification or achieved the certification itself. So we certainly want to continue that trend this year. We're also extremely proud of our GED program, and we've seen some dramatic improvements in what we're achieving with our GED students. If you look at 22, 23, the year before I came here, we had 119 graduates that year. Last year, I sat, not in this building, I think it was on the 5th floor, and I told you guys that we were hoping for 160 graduates last year. Well, we exceeded the number. We had 175. So we've seen a dramatic increase in that number. I'm going to stand here today and make another promise, probably foolishly, but we hope to have another 200 graduates by the end of this year. So we're hoping to continue exceeding our expectations. We've seen great success with our Fast Track GED program, where we really focus on getting our students to test more quickly and more effectively. And it's really working. Some of the highlights, well, I already mentioned it, but we are extremely proud to have been awarded 2 grants, one for $5 million and one for almost $1 million. And I have to thank the grants department and other divisions for helping us write a great grant and for having, for the next 5 years, hopefully, the ability to continue our services. We're also extremely proud of our construction division and for our leadership for providing an amazing building, which has made a huge difference in the lives of our students and in the lives of our staff. Last year, the new adult education building in its first year served 1,684 students in its ESL, GED, and vocational classes. So from the very beginning, we hit the ground running and made full use of that building. We hope to serve more than 2,000 students this year in the building. But it was also open to the community. We had about 80 meetings and different community activities that were hosted at the adult education building. So it's become not just an adult education building, but really a building for the entire community. Signing Day has become one of the hallmark activities of the adult education division. Every year, we have a ceremony to celebrate when our students, our vocational students, get a job. And we bring the students, the employers, and staff to celebrate that. And we collaborate with 25 employers to make sure that our students who go through a vocational program get a job. And these are some of our partners. There are many more in the list. And GED graduation is always exciting. We always appreciate when our board members show up, absolutely. And we hope that you'll make it to this year's graduation as well. And finally, I do want to, as construction did, highlight or shout out all of the divisions that have helped us achieve what we have achieved, including our leadership, but grants, REI, technology, business office, communications, client engagement, all do an amazing job of supporting the adult education division. That's the end of my report. Thank you.
Dr. Arnold, I'd just like to say to you and to the people who reside in your division how proud I am of y'all. The board took a tremendous risk in investing so much into a facility to honor our adult learners, but they did it because of the confidence that they have in you and the people who work in that building. And that's proven to be a gamble worth taking. You know, our biggest issue that we have right now with adult ed is people parking in front of people's houses out there lined up around the block to get in the building that's going to provide them service. So often I talk about how, you know, HCDE's mission should be to reshape the perspective of alternative education, you know, where there's so many groups of people who get forgotten about. And all we focus on is on the people going to college, the athletes, and this, that, and the other. But we never think about those fallen souls, those people where life got in the way, but they have the grit to press themselves back up and to get back in the race if only someone were to throw them a hand or throw them a rope and try to help them. And that's what adult ed is. And so we want to be at the forefront of that, not only for Harris County, but for the state of Texas. And so we have a group of leaders in adult ed who have traveled out to San Diego. We're looking at a phase 2 for the building to try to expand service in different regions in the county to get in where we feel like we can provide service, not for a profit, not for popularity, but to be able to have a positive impact on the people who reside in this county. And we're hard fast going to do that. And so I'm really happy with what I'm seeing. I'm glad that the numbers are going back up. You know, COVID really put a dent into everybody's enrollment throughout the country. And I think that we were able to rebound from that very positively. And I'm really excited about what I see in our adult ed division. So I appreciate your leadership, but most of all, appreciate all the people sitting behind you. So thank you.
Hey, I just have a couple of questions. I'm looking at the distribution of the different services on your student services with ESL and ESL for professionals, work-based, GED, prep, and vocational. Can you talk to me a little bit about why it is that we have such a large percentage of our students that are ESL? Is it because that's what the market is? Is it partially in how we are marketing our programs? And then a second part to that, what are we doing to market our other programs to these ESL students? If you can talk to me a little bit about that.
Those are great questions. It is demand. So basically, this is a demand-driven program, and the greatest demand for services for adult education, not just in Houston, but really across the state, are basically English language learners. Now, we do have great demand for our other services, and we would like to be able to expand our vocational programs. Absolutely, right. So one difference between regular programs, is that right? Shocking, shocking. But one difference between our regular classes, if you will, our ESL classes or GED classes, and our vocational classes is cost. So it's much more expensive to run vocational classes, and so we have to balance cost and the number of students that we serve in order to reach our enrollment targets, in order to reach our goals. But in terms of the mix, it is basically defined by the demand for the services, absolutely.
These mics, I fight with them. Am I hearing that there is potentially a waiting list for some of the vocational services?
Oh, absolutely. There is a waiting list.
Could we get information on what the market demand is for that? Could we get some kind of a report on how many people have been looking into these programs that have not had the availability for our capacity to be fulfilling it?
Absolutely, yes.
Thank you.
Provide that.
And just to add to that, like, what are the metrics that equates to that demand? So just so we can know and understand it a little bit better, and it's just for me, maybe, but what gives you that knowledge to know what metrics you need for that?
So we have what's in our website, what's called an interest survey. So there's a QR code, and you can go in there and basically type your name and your address and the subject that you're interested in, or the particular service that you're interested in. So over the past year, we've had over 4,000 students express interest in our vocational program.
Thank you. So it's from the public aspect that you get the information for the metrics of the demand. And how do we, and forgive me if you've said this before, how are we ensuring that communities have this survey to fill out as a need?
It is on the website. So if you're looking for information about vocational programs or about adult education in general, you go in there and you're prompted to fill it out if you're interested in a class, if you're interested in a program.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Dr. Owen, great job, and certainly appreciate all of the hard work that you do and your staff. We really love all that you're doing. I know public service is not being viewed too highly these days, but I'm glad, Mr. Colbert, that we are still valuing and everything that staff brings to the table. And I want to specifically ask you about, I guess, a little follow-up. You said lack of resources as far as space is concerned, or the expertise in teaching or providing instruction?
Great question. I would say it's both. We certainly, in terms of the growth of our vocational program, it is in part resources. We have to balance out how much money we get from the state for vocational programs. The current target that the state gives us to shoot for is about 600 students, and we are going to meet that. We can try and exceed that based on the current resources that we have, and we can shift some of those resources to try and meet that demand. The part of the limitation is finding enough qualified staff and vendors who can offer vocational programs that are in high demand for our students. And so that is also a limitation.
I was excited to see the pipe fitters on there. Are we working with the local unions?
That was a program, not a union program, but we certainly could look into working with the unions. It was a different organization.
Great, thank you. The high school equivalency, the GED, graduation was really the highlight of last year. It was a riveting commencement address by Mr. Parker, so it was an outstanding job. Really was. Look forward to attending again this year.
I appreciate it
as well.
Yes.
Dr. Arnold, yeah, I also have a couple of questions. Trustee Duhan beat me to the question about capacity, and so I'll look forward to your report on that. Can you define what distance learning is?
Sure, absolutely. So our direct services are basically either online classes or face-to-face classes. Those are our direct services, which are offered by a teacher, either teaching online directly to the students on a schedule, or distance learning is students working on their own on state-approved curricula and earning hours on their own in that curriculum and adding to their total number of hours that they participate in our program. So it's a supplement to what they're doing in the classroom, but it's over and above what they're getting in instruction from their teachers.
I was surprised I didn't see more churches on your list of partners. And also, I may have missed it, but I don't remember seeing Aldine ISD as one of our partners.
Aldine is not one of our partners right now. Mm-hmm.
I know there's a big need out there.
Yes.
So is there something
historically,
we can do to?
Aldine has been taken care of by the Lone Star College. That's been historically their area of service.
Oh, I see.
So it's not that we couldn't be out there, but many of the services are being offered by Lone Star College in that area.
Got it. And then you talked about the grants, a $5 million grant and a separate $1 million grant.
Correct.
How do those grants relate to our contract with TWC?
That is the contract, yes.
That is it, okay.
Those grants, the contract for that funding is directly with TWC.
Okay. So we apply for it every year?
We don't have to apply for it every year. We were awarded the grant for this year with the possibility of extending it for up to 5 years. So typically it's just an extension process. We don't have to reapply for it.
And then another issue I'd like to bring up, and I was going to direct it to Joe, but he slipped out, but it's about your building.
Sir.
I noticed we've got a leaning flagpole and a dead tree that I've noticed for several months. Do we have a warranty on those items? Are we working to get those issues resolved?
I understand. I'm not going to speak for. I can address that. Okay.
Talk to us about the warranty on the dead tree.
There is no warranty on the dead tree. If there was a warranty, it has expired. So our maintenance director has gotten somebody under contract for that flagpole, and we were on a list. So we are supposed to be next week, that pole is supposed to be fixed. So hopefully we will see that that's happening. They told us it would be 6 weeks from the time they got under contract until the time they could get it fixed, and we are at that 6-week point. So that's where we are on that.
Can you briefly explain how the pole got that way?
It was hit by a community member
With a car.
with a vehicle, yes. Yes, with a vehicle. Yes, sir. As far as the tree goes, so we have asked somebody to come look at that so that we can replace that tree. So we noticed that as well. So thank you for bringing that up.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Yes, the Metro bus stop that's right there in front of our beautiful building and in front of those beautiful oak trees looks kind of old and tired. Could I ask that we reach out to Metro to see if we couldn't get, because I noticed they're putting up new bus stops all over the place.
Absolutely.
And they
That's a
will
great
actually,
point.
they will actually work with us and wrap the glass with something related to our adult ed, maybe some pictures of our graduates.
That's a great point. I will note that and make sure that I contact them. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you, trustees. Very good. Okay, so we will now move on to, are there any reports from board members concerning attendance or participation in anything? Trustee?
I just want to commend High Point's Black History Month celebration today. I stopped by, I was not able to see the show, I was a little late, but it was a beautiful setup, and I'm grateful that you guys are working on that and taking care of that. So thank you for putting that on.
And now we will report of any board committees. I don't think we have any.
I'll just give an update. The Governmental Affairs Committee met today, and I'm very thankful for the superintendent and the chief of staff. I'm optimistic, and speaking of Metro, we spoke on partnerships, and so I look forward to the future. So thank you.
Okay. And monthly financial reports with Dr. Amoskwa.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. These are the financials as of January 31st, 2025. All our information is posted on our website. And the top 12 highlights points for January 2025 is for the month of January, we received 16.5 million in tax revenue, 2.6 million in debt service payments were made this month. Revenues are at 39% with a target of 42%. Expenditures were at 41% with a normal linear target of 42%. Our equity is 41.2 million in equity as of January 2025. We had 145,666 in donations. Values are trending at 662 billion out of 665 billion projected for the year. We will get that probably in the next couple of months to get that for the budget. Choice is at a $4.6 million benefit variance, which is good for the general fund. Foundation equity is at 525,000. We had a foundation audit with a non-modified opinion that was presented, and it will be posted on the website. Our business plan, small business program is at 10% as of January 2025. Urbanton project is at 93%. And phase 1 projects are just pending the release of retainage and the closeout. Our budget process is underway. In fact, tomorrow we'll start with the budget instructions manual for all the division managers. Taxes revenues are being received in our trend. Revenues and expenses are below market. normal operations are on target, policy stable, and legislative process ongoing between now and the end of the spring. That's the summary of the financial statements. What questions do you have, unless you would like me to go through every detail in the financial statement?
Any questions? Okay, no questions.
The next financial statement is the investment report. Okay, this is the investment report as of January 31st, 2025. All our information is posted on our website. A brief overview of our funds rate from the Fed and where we're at in terms of the rate that they have set, 4.25 to 4.5. They did not do any cuts in the federal funds rate. And this is the yield curve. Right now, we are in the neighborhood of 4.6 to 4.2 in terms of our investments. And so this is the yield curve for treasuries. And so that what basically gives you the trend line is kind of flattening where it used to be inverted a few months ago. And so now it's kind of beginning to take shape as a normal curve that you will normally see it up rising. So we will continue to monitor that. Our portfolio as of January 31st is 61,641,725. 14% is in the Texas class, 5% in Chase, 35% in Lone Star, 27% in Texas Star, 19% in TexPool. So it's basically the moving the monies around for the different investment pools to spread the money around within the different pools. Our portfolio for the PFC, we have $339,084 left. That basically primarily they're invested in TexPool and also Bank of Texas funds. In comparison from a year ago on January 31st, we have 9.5 million more in portfolio than a year ago, or 18% more than last year at the same time. All our funds are overnight at this point in time, waiting to see what will happen with the interest rates, whether they'll be continuing on the same trend or will they be cut or extended. So we will monitor those for the next month and the next six months as well. Year to date, we have earned $982,715 for the general fund and $4,926 for the PFC. We are earning an average of 434, which is above the benchmark of 431. And this is a history of all the rates that have been available. For us, we have 4.28 and 4.39, the range in rates that we're able to invest in January of 2025. Again, these are the pools rate. The range is 436 to 439 that's available at the end of January. And so those are continuing to be monitored every day. Questions on the investment report that you may have at this time?
Nope, don't see any. Thank you. Okay, so we will move on to our action items, our consensus items. Do we have any items to pull today?
Excuse me, President Hinojosa,
Yes.
can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. I just have one minor correction on item 6D1. This does not require a separate vote. It's just a typographical correction that needs to be reflected in the minutes. For under 6D1, which is consider approval of contract award for job number 25/012MF. At the very end of that sentence, after Robert Forelli, LLC, DBA Forelli, that it should state 25/012MF instead of SG-02.
Okay. All right, so do we have a motion to pass consensus items? Do you want to pull one? Okay, we're going to pull C12. That's it? Okay. All right, do I have a motion? Moved by Trustee Davis, seconded by Trustee Cantu, and discussion. Is there anything you want to discuss on that item 12? Well, you pulled it already. Yeah, never mind. Okay, that's fine. All right, all in favor? Motion passes 6-0. All right, so then we will move to item, what is that? 6D? No, I'm sorry, 12.
612.
No, it's C12. C12, consider ratification of interlocal agreement between the Adult Education Division of the City of Houston for the period of 1/1/25 through 6/30/25 for the provision of the HSE and vocational classes. Do I have a motion? So moved by Trustee Duhan and seconded by Trustee Cantu. And discussion? Clarification? Okay.
Yes, we're having a class, an HSC class, a GED preparation class that will be hosted at the EB Cape Center from the City of Houston. The city contacted us a while back, and we've been working on this contract. It is going to be a class that's going to target some city employees who do not have a GED and are hoping to obtain one, but it will also be open to the public. So it'll be a class that's open to the community as well.
How is it non-monetary?
It's non-monetary because we're not paying for their space and they're not paying for our classes. They're hosting the classes there for free. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Okay, all in favor? Motion passes 6-0. For our non-consensus items, we'll start with 7-1. Consideration and possible vote to appoint up to 2 directors to the Harris County Department of Education Public Facilities Corporation. Do I have a motion? Recommendation first.
Yeah, who's going to serve?
Can we get on note, on record, who the current directors are?
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes, sir. Have 1 second.
And Sarah, are they making a motion they need to identify the 2 people who are going to serve moving forward, right?
Correct.
Because their terms had expired.
Correct. Give me 1 second.
It's myself and Ken too.
Okay. So currently, the Secretary, Treasurer, and Director, Dr. Jesus Amezcua's term expired January 18th of 2025, as well as Director Mr. Colbert's term also expired January 18th, 2025. And therefore, per the Articles of Incorporation and bylaws of the Public Facility Corporation, the HCDE board nominates and approves directors for the PFC board. And so I believe if somebody would like to make a motion to reappoint Mr. Colbert and Dr. Amezcua as directors of the Public Facility Corporation for the next 3 years, that would be acceptable.
Dr. Ameskua and Superintendent Colbert, would you like to plead your cases to be on this PFC?
I can only say I'll promise to do better this time. Please elect me again.
If you have something that you'd like to discuss. I will state that Dr. Ameskua and Superintendent Colbert are integral parts of this PFC board, and we need their input on that board.
All right, so we have
If
a
you would like to
request
wait and
move
discuss it later, I'm fine with
session?
that. Yeah.
Okay. Sarah, do we just need to say that we're moving it to closed session?
Say that one more time, I'm sorry.
Trustee Davis would like to discuss this in closed session.
For what purpose?
I want to discuss this in closed session.
So I don't think.
So this isn't a personnel, this would not fall under the personnel exception for closed session, because we're talking about appointments to the PFC board, not in their employment
Open
matters.
deliberation.
And so
You have a legal question?
I don't-
Is there something legal about this that you want to talk about it? Because if there's a legal issue, you talk about it in closed session.
No, we will proceed.
Okay, I'll make a motion to appoint Dr. Ameskua and Superintendent Colbert back to the PFC board.
Okay, we have a motion by Trustee Duhan and seconded by Trustee McGee. And now bring it up for discussion. Any discussion?
just to clarify, for a term for 3 years, correct?
Oh, 3 years.
Thank you.
No discussion? We're good?
Yep. I just know it with any,
Okay, go ahead.
I just know with any appointment, really, if you have I believe, and Sarah can correct me if I'm wrong, that anything that is done with the board, 4 members can undo it. So I just note that, or a majority can undo it. If there was an appointment, couldn't we not rescind the appointment if we so wanted to? Not that we should, but.
The bylaws do govern and have provisions with regards to rescission of members of the PFC board.
There's bylaws, and if we didn't like the bylaws, I imagine 4 board members could change the bylaws. Would that be correct?
The PFC board adopts its bylaws.
Okay. Well, I'm sure my point is to Erica that if you're unhappy with the way, if there's issues with it, I think it could be resolved with other board members if there is issues. I don't know that there are. I'm just pointing that out. Cheers.
Clarification, I have no issues. I just had other things I wanted to discuss, and that's all. I'm perfectly fine.
Okay, any further discussion from anyone? Okay, so we'll put it to a vote. All in favor? Motion passes 6-0. Item 7.2, consider adoption of resolution concerning emergency administrative leave with pay for HCDE staff in accordance with pay DEA local associated with severe weather on January 21st through 22nd, 2025. Do I have a motion? A motion by Trustee McGee.
Seconded.
And seconded by Trustee Duhan. And any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? And motion passes 6-0. Item number 7.3, consider approval of the Harris County Department of Education Head Start Early Head Start student selection criteria for the 2025-2026 school year. Do I have a motion? Motion by Trustee Duhan, seconded by Trustee McGee. Any discussion? All right, seeing none, all in favor? Motion passes 6-0. 7.4, consider approval of the service agreement for fiscal year 2025 Case for Kids Leadership Academy for the period of 3/1/25 through 8/31/25 in the aggregate amount of $185,000 with the following entity: Black Professionals, Cowboys, and Cowgirls Association, where 60 students are served. Do I have a motion? So moved. Motion by Trustee Davis, seconded by Trustee Cantu. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 6-0. Item 7.5, approval to rescind terminate change order number 2 with Geofill Material Technologies DBA Geofill Construction to increase scope of work to install a natural gas standby generator and gate operators in the amount of $1,313,687. Do I have a motion? Motion by Trustee Davis, seconded by Trustee Cantu. Any discussion? All in favor? And motion passes 6-0. And with that, under the Texas Government Code pursuant to any and all purposes permitted by Section 551.001 through 551.084, including but not limited to 551.071, 551.074, we now move to executive session.
At time, please.
At 2:14.
Do I close out of this one?
Close out. Bye. No.
Yeah, I'm gonna just close. Okay. Perfect.
Oh, you need to apply now and give me their names.
Okay.
Okay, bye. Okay. Thank you. I'm sorry for the everything.
All right, we now reconvene from executive session at 3:06 PM. And do we have a motion from executive session?
Oh, you got to read the first item.
What, deliberate the, what?
You have two items.
Oh, right here, I see, okay. All right, so we're going to start with 10A, possible action regarding pending litigation against HCDE. Do I have a motion?
Yes, ma'am. Madam President, I move to authorize the superintendent to take action regarding the pending litigation involving CLTD as discussed in closed session, and to negotiate, finalize, and execute any agreement thereto.
I have, okay, so motion by trustee McGee, seconded by trustee Duhan. Any discussion? Seeing none, put it to a vote. Motion passes 6-0. And the next thing is 8B, no, I'm sorry, 10B, discussion and possible action regarding filling vacant HCDE trustee seat, position 7 at large. Do you have a motion?
Madam President, I move that the board have a called meeting on Monday, March 31st, 2025 at 1 p.m. to discuss and take possible action regarding filling the vacant HCDE trustee seat, position 7 at large, including permitting individuals who have submitted applications to fill the vacancy, and to give them a brief opportunity to speak at this called board meeting.
Moved by trustee McGee. Do I have a second? Seconded by trustee Duhan. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 6-0. All right, and so I think we have one more about any future items. for the
Do you want
agenda?
to, it's number 9. It got switched. It's wonky for some reason on the agenda. If
Okay.
you just want to go back to number 9.
Yeah, I want to go back to number 9. Any discussion for any possible action items regarding future agenda items? Does anybody have anything? All right. Okay, so with that, we now adjourn. Motion to adjourn. I'm so off today. Okay, moved by trustee Davis, seconded by trustee Duhan. And all in favor? 6-0. Meeting adjourned at 3:08.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. See y'all later.